And by the way, those take about 10 years to pay off. We are creating a legacy company. And I want you guys to know that every single company, I mean, there's companies, coffee companies in Houston, Texas, that at one point in their beginning couldn't ship product for 3 to 5 months. And I just want to give a handout to our corporate staff, our team that we started in the beginning with, because every single product has shipped on time. All of the checks have came on time. People have cashed all the checks. They say Bank of America right on the checks. We got the most amazing software, and you know, it's just, I wanted everybody to imagine what it's like outside of the United States. Because everything's relative, right? I went to Singapore 8 years ago. Jerry Clark was a speaker. Remember that, Jerry? And I was also a speaker too. And Jerry, ever since I was young, which you'll hear in a minute, has always been promoting me since I was 18 years old. And I'll get to that story in a second. But when I spoke, after Jerry set up the speaking engagement, and all the way in Singapore, Mr. Hob Kartka was there. And he came up to me afterwards, and I was selling my CD program that Jerry helped me create. And it was all about the next generation. You know, I don't know why I was researching all about this next generation and all the generations coming together. It was all meant to happen for this company, right? But Hob saw that vision 8 years ago. And all of a sudden, I start getting all these messages from Hob. He's like, hey, how you doing? You know, I just really loved your speech, and I love your program. And us in Nepal, you know, we have, you know, I'm trying to create this new youth movement in Nepal. And does anybody know where Nepal is? Yeah. It's where the highest point in this earth is, Mount Everest. Right? There's about 47 mountains that are probably the top 40 in the whole world. And of the top 5 mountains, highest mountains in the world, they're in Nepal. K2 is in Pakistan, right? And then that's the second highest. Mount Everest is number 1. But the top 5 are in Nepal. And do you know that it's right in the middle of India and China? And there's the biggest building in Nepal is the United States Embassy, because they want to try to keep relations with India and China. But it's amazing to see the heart of these people. You know, Hob gives me a call and says, how would you like to come out and speak to my launch event? I said, sure. So he sends me a ticket. I'm on this plane all the way across the world. You know, I have to connect in London, and I have to fly through past Saudi Arabia to the mystical lands of Bahrain, and flying all the way up from Bahrain and landing on a mountaintop. They got a runway on top of a mountain. There. You know, so you're flying in, you're like, whoa, you know. And Hob's there to meet me at the airport. Hob's there to meet me at the airport, and you know, he gets in a car and we go to this resort where it's in the middle of the jungle. And Jerry will talk about the jungle and how you get through the jungle in his program. A lot of you are big fans of Jerry, but I'm thinking about, I'm in the jungle right now, you know, and I'm at Hob's amazing resort. There's monkeys jumping around in trees, stealing my breakfast in the morning. You know, so I go on the balcony and a monkey would come down out of nowhere and grab my hand and just run off. Hob would be chasing him off. But, you know, it's amazing because Hob didn't say anything. He was a very modest and humble guy, right? And I just got to know Hob. This was 8 years ago, and I show up at the Radisson Hotel, and I thought it was gonna be like an event with, like, you know, it's maybe like 100 people, small country, you know, 100 people, maybe 80 people, maybe 100, 120 max. So I show up and the parking lot's full. I said, oh gosh, they must have some other convention going on here. It's an American hotel, you know. And you know, all of a sudden I go in and Hob, everybody's looking at Hob like preparing him to come. I mean, there's policemen there and army protecting politicians. There's police officers. There's these models wearing his company's logo on a hash across the side, and they're escorting us to the. And I come in this room, and just the lobby was packed. I come in this room, and it was standing room only. People were actually waiting in the room behind it with the doors open so they could see through to the stage. There was 1,700 people at his launch event. 1,700 people. There was famous singers, publicists, the newspapers, the magazines. They were all there. And first thing they did was light the incense, to put the shawl over my head, you know, and did the ceremony. It was really cool, you know. But one thing that I've really known about Hob is that he's always believed in the next generation and bringing generations together. He's always believed in what I've stood for, which is helping unite all generations together and creating a futuristic company of the future in the 21st century. And you know, he's always, in tough times and in good, we've always stuck together. There's been a lot of people who came past us and around us, but we've always kept each other's trust. We've always said what we're going to do to each other. We've always helped and supported each other. So I've flown out to Asia about 10 times, because we're lucky as Americans, right? If we have an eagle on our passport, we can pretty much go to any country in the world. You realize that? Like, our politicians, our governments work really hard to make sure that we can expand our empire of this nation across the world. But it's really hard for someone that has a Mount Everest on their passport Hob has to get visas everywhere. We'd be flying to Malaysia, and he'd be stuck at the customs line. I'd go right through, and I'd have to wait for him. So what I did in this last trip is you know, I went over with him to Nepal again, and I went to the U.S. Embassy, past the soldiers. I had to show my passport, you know. And we had to write him a letter and everything. And we were so excited the next day when he called me, because I was waiting by the phone. He was at the embassy with his wife and his amazing wife, Pooja. He has a great daughter, Christina, as well. They were waiting to hear the news. And after so many times and so much years and so much work and struggle, this guy has finally got his U.S. visa to be in the United States. So I just wanted to say congratulations. But just before I introduce him real quick, he came from a small village in Nepal. The second time I went to Nepal, after the first event, I flew in and I thought Hob was going to pick me up again. And he wasn't there. So I'm in this like third world country at the airport, and I don't know what to go. There's soldiers walking around with, you know, AKs. You know, I mean, I'm sitting there like, you know. So I call Hob. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't come. There's a crisis happening in Nepal. There's strikes going on. The government's like being overthrown. You know? And I'm like, I'm sitting there in my backpack like. So he's like, take a taxi, and the taxis are this big. And the roads are bumpy because you know, because it's in the mountains. So I'm like, so he's like, go to the resort with the monkeys. So I'm going to the resort, and he's like, I'm like trying to pay. He's like, no, it's Mr. Hob's account. You know, I said, okay, that's nice of him. So he's like, I'll be there tomorrow. So I was waiting for Hobby. Sorry, I can't come. He's like, you know, big crisis. The government's being overthrown. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get down. He's like, go to the airport. You mean the international? No, the domestic airport. The domestic airport. Get a ticket and come and meet me where I'm from, in a small village in Chitwan, it's called. And this is where they have rhinos and tigers and like big elephants and, you know, crocodiles. You know, seriously. You know, and I book a ticket on Yeti Airlines. Somebody know the abominable snowman story? No, like the mountains, Yeti. They go. So I have this ticket from Yeti Airlines, and it's got a big rhino on it. And Jerry, it's got a big rhino, and nice glasses, man. Yeah. So I'm flying on this small plane across the mountains. It just takes 5 hours to drive to the mountains, and it's usually like. It's like driving from here to downtown. That's how the distance is. But it's so many mountains, the roads are so small and winding that it takes 5 hours. So it took only 45 minutes on this plane. I land on this Indiana Jones type airstrip. Dirt, you know. And I'm like, getting off, you know, the plane. Everybody's looking at me, you know. And there's like no American would ever dream of getting on this plane and going to this village and like in the middle of nowhere, right? I mean, and so I'm carrying my luggage, and I'm looking for Hob. And guess what? He's not there. He's like, I'm sorry, me and my wife were coming. The government crisis, the government's been taking over. You know, you know so I go up, and there's this guy that comes up, and he's like, I'm like, oh, are you the person Mr. Hob sent? I'm like, who? And Hob said, no, I'm sending a guy with a motorcycle, and you can ride on the back of the motorcycle, and you go to meet me at the Red Carpet Hotel, and it's the carpet with a K. And I've been there before. So I'm looking for this guy from the motorcycle, and guess what? The guy isn't there. So I get in this taxi, and I drive to the place, and the guy says, so who was meeting you? I said, Hob Kartkay. He's like, oh, Mr. Kartka, you know? And this guy was a totally different guy. But he knew Hob, because Hob's very famous, you know, where he's from now. Because, I mean, he's known all across the government community now, and he's really best friends with one of the best friends he has is, besides me, is the Prince of Nepal. So, the Crown Prince of Nepal. So, yeah, we're supposed to meet him in Thailand soon. But he's excited about what we're doing. But it was amazing because Hob came and I could see a look on his face, like something drastic happened. The government was being overthrown, but they were trying to take all the entrepreneurs that ever built a company. They were trying to regulate everything. They were going to try to take his house, his car, froze his bank account with millions of dollars in it. I mean, he built from scratch. He grew up in this small village. Right? He took me to this safari place that has real rhinos and tigers, I mean, real warning signs of tigers. And like, this is a small village. I mean, he took me out in the farm area with his house, and we had like, they brought water and watermelon, and we were sitting on the ground. And the middle, I mean, the furthest place from here you can imagine. Right? So it's awesome, because you know, it's good to see where he's from. But it's amazing how from a small village with a big enough heart, now he's all across in America, and now he is a part of the Association of the Youth Movement in Nepal. All the most powerful politicians he now hangs out with in Nepal on a daily basis. He's a business leader. He owns actual agricultural fields, producing crops into the tens of thousands of pounds every month. Like tea, green tea, like it's in our product. Some of the best green tea in the world is from Nepal. He owns ruby mines. Wow. I mean, he's helping create jobs in his country. And since that time, when I went over there, and the government took everything from him, he's been able to travel with his young daughter, Christina, which is now, I call her Benji, which means niece, and his wife, Pooja, to Malaysia. They lived in Thailand, in more freer countries. And he, from nothing, from seriously losing everything, has built into, probably his investment company today is at the capacity to produce hundreds of millions of dollars US a year in just a few years. I've never seen someone work harder than this man. I mean, sometimes it's like, man, he's got 2 cell phones, both of them are dying at the same time. He's got two laptops. I mean, he's on a mission, right? So, you know, but he's always believed in us and what we're doing. And he owns now an investment company with offices all across Asia, right? I'm helping him put up these nice offices, and he's got just custom designers coming in there. And right at the perfect timing, I go over there, and he's like, I got a surprise for you. Our investment company is going to invest in your company, and we're going to invest in your company for a long time. So without further ado, my best friend and business partner, Mr. Hob Kartka.
Namaskar. Thank you. So I have to speak?
Yeah.
I think I don't have much time here because my mentor Jerry Clark is here. I think he doesn't know about me. But I met him in 2008 in Singapore. I was about to quit network marketing that time. But I got very much like a special inspiration from him. Yes. Maybe I don't have much time. Okay, when I started MLM or network marketing in 2001 or 2000, end of 2000, I was about to quit because I couldn't even recruit a single person in the first 95 days. I was able to quit because like my family, my old relatives, my friends, they forced me to teach in the college or find some special like job. Yes, because like they don't believe network marketing. And luckily I got one friend from Cyprus. She's happy to work with me. Yes, and finally today I'm here. Because like it's just been around 12 to 13 years of experience in network marketing, but I started my MLM company in 2011 because he was there during my company launch. And still I'm doing my company in 9 countries. It's in 9 countries now. in Asia, and of course Nigeria in Africa. But I'm moving whole Nigerian team to your country, sorry, company in Algeria.
Wow.
It's very difficult for me to handle Nigerian team from Asia because like I cannot travel. One problem, I cannot travel. Yes, I'm from Nepal, very small country, very poor country, and we have visa problem. So Nepali millionaire and American is very different. Because you are in the land of opportunity, you can travel anywhere around the world, but we cannot travel. Yes, with green passport. So I'm moving whole Nigerian team to your company. Yes, I don't know, maybe you can talk to your CEO. Yes, if you want that whole team to be under your like. And after 3 years of MLM company, I started my own investment company. Now I'm doing very good in Asia and Europe. Yes, I'm into ruby mines, agriculture, and organic tea estates, and property dealing. And just recently, yeah, she went to Bangkok maybe 2 months before, and just last month also we met in Hong Kong and Bangkok. We went back to Nepal. I decided to invest in Algeria because, like, for me this is very important. It's not only for the investment project, yes, because like I need US visa too. For the visa, I need to be invested. Because you know, I went to US Embassy. I went to US Embassy and they asked me, why did you invest so much money before you get US visa? I just said, because I want to invest $1 million. That's why I decided to invest few $100,000 before I get my visa. Yes, and they asked me so much about Algeria and this energy drink. They asked me, did you taste it? I said, yes. How is it? It's wonderful. I just answered like that. And they said, okay, are you going to be back from US? And I said, I'm not sure. If I like your country, yes, because I already like the energy drink. Yes, I like your people. If I like your country, I will bring whole investment to your country.
Wow.
And he said, okay, approved. You get your visa. Because like, because you know, you are in the land of opportunity, right? Because you have I can do attitude, habit. Yes, you can travel around the world, and you are with the right opportunity at the right company with the right CEO. But there is no difference between Dakota Ray and you. He is just a founding CEO, but you are the real CEO of this company. Correct? Mm-hmm. Because like you have to do the presentation, you have to find new prospect. Yes, you have to face rejection. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Yes, you are the one who have to do everything for his company. So this is not only his company; he's just the founding CEO. You are the real CEO of your company. Yes, you have to understand this. Yes, because okay, when I decided to join network marketing company, I never thought about my health. Because it's not only about the product, it's not only about the neon energy drink, it's all about the opportunity you get from this industry. If I get sick, I go to hospital. I find the best doctor. I'm here, I have problem here. Yes, I go to Dr. Drain office. Yeah? Yeah. But I'm here, or you are here in the opportunity where you can make millions of dollars, right? But you need passion, dedication, and commitment. Okay, these types of training you take, it doesn't work unless you put them into action. Yes? Because this is very important. Because when I joined network marketing, even I couldn't recruit a single person in my first 95 days. I was about to quit. Now I have Ruby Minds, everything because of network marketing. Because I'm from a small village. My mother is housewife. My father is retired teacher. Yes. My first wife is housewife. And network marketing is my second wife. That's why my first wife, this is very greedy. With my second wife. He was there last month in my first wife birthday, and she was not happy with me. I took her to jewelry shop. I bought her like one nice necklace. I spent few $1,000, right? She's not happy. Yes, we went back home. She was just, like talking. I don't like. She said, no, I want to go back Nepal. Okay, let's go. And she said, no, give me your cards. I said, no, I already decided to give you some money. You go Nepal and stay there. I stay with my second wife. Yeah. And I transfer her 5 million Thai baht to her account, and she's happy to go. And when she decided to go, she said, okay, give me your Nepal credit card. And I gave my credit card to her. And she's happy to go. Because like she's very greedy with my second wife. Because I'm giving my first priority for my business because I have so much responsibility to my people. It's not only about the opportunity, it's not only about the business, it's about the people. Yes, and your CEO, Dekora Ray, he's very much serious about you guys. Very much serious. He works 24 hours. He went to Asia not for fun. He doesn't have any girlfriend in Asia. Yeah. Because like, he's there for the expansion. He met many people. You have now opportunity to expand your business in Asia. I'm giving you Nigeria already, right? Come to Asia, I'll give you very good like expansion opportunity. It's in India, Malaysia, Philippines. If you stay in Thailand, you can travel to Philippines, just 2.5 hours. Malaysia, 2 hours. India, 3 hours. Nepal, 3 hours. Yes, Hong Kong, China, just 2.5, 3 hours. Yes.
You put one under my team, I'm already in there.
Okay, so it's very easy to expand your business, and we'll come up with some like expenses, like budget plan for your expansion. Yes, I'm ready to help you for SN expansion because I'm a part of this company now. And for the financial sector, yes, Dream One Investment, my company is ready to invest for whatever needed for this company. Yes, we already decided on this. Yes. And also, we have already made some like investment, yes, to secure your platform for this company. And very soon you are expanding your business to Nigeria, and very soon in Asia, I'll have very special package for you. Yes, from people to your like expenses. You just talk to your CEO, just make very good plan for Asia. I'm there for you. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
So I was 18 years old when I first started out marketing. I was 17 actually. And for some reason, I recruited a 77-year-old couple I didn't think would do anything, right? One rule, you never prejudge anybody. That's one thing, you know? And they ended up becoming the fastest growing team in the whole company.
Wow.
And I was 17 years old, and I didn't know what the heck to do with it, you know, a team like that. And all of a sudden, I got all this fame, and people were saying, oh, that's the young superstar. So I didn't know about anything about business, right? And I was a snowboarder from a small town also. And so basically, one thing that I knew was missing is that we have to become better before our income becomes better, right? Like our income will rarely ever exceed our level of personal growth. It will rarely ever be bigger than how big you are as a person. So one thing I knew I was missing, I had all these people in my organization, and I didn't know what to do, so I said, hey, let's, one of my top leaders, Janet Sauce, and I remember Janet, she called all these top trainers in the industry, and she's like, hey, can you send us your books? Because I think one of our things that are missing right now is the growth, because that's the most important part, is the education. Like Hob says, it doesn't mean anything unless you apply it. So we were applying it, but we didn't know what we were applying, so we might as well get the foundation of education to apply, of specific intent. Right? It's one thing to have general education, but to have specific training on this profession, which is a totally different type of profession than the traditional business. We all agree with that, right? So she gets this phone call back from Jerry Clark here, and she's like, oh yeah, Janet, I got your call, and you needed some training, right? Or some CDs, some books. She's like, oh, I'm glad to send that to you, but do you want that, or do you want me to come in person? Because I'm actually in Oregon right now, and I'm driving by your town. It was like one of the many synchronistic things that happened when I first started. These magical things happened out of nowhere, And all of a sudden, I'm sitting in there in this small training room, and we have about 50 people like this in the room, and I'm giving out awards, right? So I give out the awards to the top leaders, and I know that if I'm going to win friends and influence people, I have to recognize them and show that I see them and how important they are, right? Because everybody in here is important. But they're the top achievers. So I give them the awards. So I sit down. I got long hair, baggy jeans, 18 years old, snowboarder guy. Didn't know what I was doing. Just like your haircut. So I'm sitting in the front row, and I'm taking notes. Right? I'm ready to hear Jerry. And the first time I come out, the biggest smile I've ever seen in my life. This Jerry Clark smile. I'm like, hey, this guy looks awesome. So I'm sitting there taking notes, and I've heard so much about him. I'm so excited to learn finally, because I didn't learn anything. All I was taught before was general education, right? Not specific education. So I come up, and the first thing he says, like, really shocked me, right? He said, Dakota. I'm like, what? It's like, Dakota. He's like, yeah, stand up. Where's Dakota? He said, how old are you? He's like, 18. He said, 18? Are you kidding? 18? He's like, are you kidding me? And he was giving out awards. You're like the top leader. He's like, I want everybody to look at this guy. Right, and stand up, Dakota. He's like, everybody wants you to look at this guy. He's going to be something someday, And I said, wow, this is the first time someone of his stature told me I could be something better than what I was currently. And my dad and my mom always did, but someone that actually achieved millions of dollars, And yeah, Jerry, I know his top check was $600,000 a month. So when he was, someone of that stature telling me a specific education, I could be something like that, really brought the belief inside of me. So I bought every single program he had, every single book he had, and inside of that was a ticket to his boot camp. And that was the beginning of many journeys of me following him around. I was like chasing this guy around, because I said, I basically told him, I said, either you're going to teach me everything you know, or I'm going to never leave you alone. It does take commitment, right? Like Hob says, it takes commitment and dedication. So everywhere Jerry was, I was there sitting in the front row. And so he remembers the first time we met. So he'd make me stand up. And he's like, everybody, you look. So I started getting all this free promotion, from Jerry. Jerry's so credible around the industry. So I got all these people coming up to me and saying, hey, how do I get my son or daughter involved? Us parents are involved, but how do we unite generations, right? All this stuff was starting to happen. I don't know what it was for, but I knew I was meant to bring these parents and their sons and daughters together. So all of a sudden, I was in event rooms of thousands of people. And every time I was like the know-it-all student, and then he would be saying, hey, thousands of people in my success triangle, and I'd be like, oh no, that's internal communication. And he'd be like, oh, Dakota, yeah, stand up, And I'm like, I'm all proud, my hair's starting to get shorter, I'm getting my clothes are starting to fit a little better,